The UK and Australia, especially the UK tends to be kind of like the forerunner when it comes to, I find, doing like the stupidest shit. They're the people in the UK. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with them. Not all of them, but their way of thinking and their ideas of what's right and what's wrong. So now there's a movement that the word vagina is an offensive term since it's not inclusive and it's offensive to transgender females. Have you guys heard of this?
I have not.
No, I haven't heard of that.
So this is happening now in the UK.
So the actual word,
Vagina.
not like the C word or anything.
No, vagina itself. So let's say if it's a nurse or a doctor talking about a vagina, that is now being considered in the UK and Australia. It's going to come here too. Just mark my words on this.
Then what are we supposed to say instead?
So
you better learn sign language.
Listen to this. So there is there's a charity called Charity Joe's Cervical Cancer. So it's a charity for cervical cancer, and it's a trust, and they recommend that some healthcare providers. I want to wait till Elizabeth gets back, though.
You know what? This could be really educational. We're going to learn a lot of doctor terms.
Some really like crazy Doctor Strangelove terms here.
Great.
They have said that they believe that some healthcare providers might want to use the term bonus hole.
What?
No.
What? I think that more offensive. I take that offensive.
Did you guys hear what I said?
Yes.
Bonus hole.
Yeah, I take that offensively.
That is horrible.
Is that offensive?
Yeah, I take that offensively.
It's like someone said donut hole and put a B in front
bonus
of it.
hole?
Wait.
Bonus hole.
Why would they
it's
make
at least the primary. It's not a bonus that you win in
I'm
a
really
fucking arcade
confused.
game.
Well,
Guys.
for a transgender female,
They can have the bonus hole. We got vaginas.
Isn't the mouth the bonus hole?
no, that's the common hole.
Oh.
It's not
Sorry,
bonus.
I just had to.
Come on. When it comes to sexual relationships, and whether you would want to agree or not, giving a fucking blowjob is not a big deal for most women. I'm sorry.
It depends.
See, there you go. There you go. But having sex is a little bit of a bigger deal. My fucking view would be that giving a blowjob should be way bigger. You're putting that guy's penis in your mouth.
Yeah.
Oh my
Shower.
god.
Make sure they shower first.
Spitters on
And
the
especially, I'm
quitters.
sorry, most guys fucking when they go pee, they shake it and then they put, and that's it.
Gross.
And
You know
they
what?
shower first.
You know what?
Like,
I've
I'm
always
sorry.
been a huge fan of the BJ, and let me tell you, okay, that helps a man get off way quicker, and my husband can go for fucking hours.
That's your husband. I'm talking about girls that go on dates. So you know that they were.
Here,
listen,
the way I see it is my mouth. I'd rather my mouth. It's going to sound gross. I'd rather my mouth get an STD and STI than down here. So that's the way I see it. I'm going to go out and no guy is going to test drive a car without buying it first, right? So he's going to want to test drive some shit. I'm not going to let him test drive the whole fucking ride. It's not all-wheel drive. It's front-wheel drive. He can test drive front-wheel drive. We can do that. He can see if I like it. I can see if he can like it.
Oh,
we
God.
vibe. And then
Sorry,
you go for
you lost me at front wheel drive. What's the difference between front wheel drive and back wheel drive?
You don't want to know.
You don't drive a truck, do you?
I do. I have a truck as well. So
I can make it bounce.
what are your what are your ladies' thoughts on bonus hole? So we'll start on this end, Courtney.
I just don't get. You can't say boo anymore without being offended by. Like you offend everybody now. I think it's absolutely ridiculous.
So
like,
you don't think that they have any like merit here that says that the word vagina
I think
is
it's
hurtful to transgender females because they don't have a
I
vagina?
hope to God it doesn't come here, but I know it will. Like you can't say anything these days.
I mean, the brownie is not a brownie anymore. I might get in
Yeah.
trouble for saying that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
You didn't know that?
Can't say that
It's
anymore.
some
Yeah, you
other
can't
word
say
that I
that.
don't know.
You can't
So,
say anything.
Elizabeth,
It's not a brownie
so
anymore.
I'm going to kind of
What
read
is
this
it
again.
then?
I don't remember.
So, like I said, the term vagina is considered offensive
Came back at the
Welcome
perfect
back.
time.
Yeah.
because it's not inclusive to transgender females. So there's a charity that's called Joe's Cervical Cancer Trust that's in the UK, and they recommend that some healthcare providers might want to use the term bonus hole.
Question: is Joe a man or a woman?
I think it's a female.
Okay.
So it's a charity that has to. So this fucking charity, all of their patients are females who have vaginas. So they're saying that now nurses in the UK and Australia are now referring to vagina, and they're using the term bonus hole. So what are your thoughts on that?
We're all just looking for
I know,
how to
everyone's like, what do you
That
think?
name.
Right?
Like, what is that?
Like I'm thinking of all the terminology that people are gonna say. It's gonna be like, "Yo, can I fuck your bo?" Like,
And then
can
there's
I fuck
also
your
there's
beau?
also
like,
there's also another word another term which is called front hole.
that's a little bit more. That's a little bit more encyclopedia. If you like,
Which
you know what I
That's
mean?
more
Front
literal.
hole are
It's
we
not saying
talking
like, oh, it's the
about?
bonus hole. If you get all 5 holes, you win.
Like,
No.
I think it's
golf.
fucked.
It is-
I mean,
yeah.
what that implies is that the bum hole is the primary hole.
well, that too.
Because that's for transgender females. And then the vagina, which they don't have, or they've made one, is now the bonus hole. So, so this is happening in the UK. This is also happening in Australia. So I'm sure it's not going to take that long for it to arrive here.
saying-
Like, does it say how they come up with these names?
I'm saying
So
vagina.
they come up with these
That one.
names by talking to support groups that are transgender and what makes them comfortable and what they feel is not offensive, doesn't hurt their feelings. Right. So the shadow foreign secretary, David Lamas, in the UK, he believes a cervix can be grown. It's completely fucked up. So the Bank of England,
Do they have any proof of that?
so the Bank of England is on board, and they state that people of any gender can become pregnant, and they offer to help staff to pay for gender reassignment surgery, which is paid for by the government, which basically does the funding to remove healthy human tissues like breasts, testicles, and penises. So the world's getting really fucked up.
Well, I'm just gonna say vagina no to that argument.
I'm agreeing on that.
Yeah, just no.
Elizabeth?
You know what I think is weird because from living in England and being married to a British guy and being around British
A
people,
little bit up like that.
they're not into this stuff. Like they're really against all this stuff. So I'm surprised that that's coming out of the UK.
Yeah.
Really
Well,
surprised.
The
Yeah,
UK
no,
is
yeah.
like really the capital hub for all this bullshit. Like it's just, it's,
I don't think I knew one gay person in the 3 years I lived in England.
so gay is very
So, I
different,
don't
right?
know.
We're not, so this is transgender, right? So the,
No, I'm saying, but that's how bad it is. I don't think I
That
even
is
knew
true.
one
I've
person
also
that was
been to the
gay when I lived
UK,
there.
and it's mostly white old people.
I lived in
so-
Essex though, so I don't know about London.
So a lot of these white old people, especially the men, because they're fucking bored and they're devious, I find, they go to becoming transgender females, a lot of them.
Very secretive too, the British culture. They're very secretive.
You're not going to see the majority of the people that are transgender females tend to be white men. And Dave Chappelle talked about that in his one of his specials, and he got a lot of backlash. But he was like, "It's really fucked up how the transgender female movement got so much traction and was accepted by everybody, and it took black people hundreds of fucking years for people to stop with the slavery bullshit. Whereas you have someone like Bruce Jenner, who's now Caitlyn Jenner, in her 70s. And the first year that she became Caitlyn Jenner, she won Woman of the Year. Imagine all of the other women, like moms, like your mom who's had 5 kids, or moms who've had 3 miscarriages and breastfed 7 children. They're not being recognized as Woman of the Year. Some fucking guy with a penis grows his hair out, puts on a fucking skirt, and he wins Woman of the Year, meets the president of the United States and gets an award. That's really fucked up. Also, as well, Joe Biden and Jill Biden, last year on International Women's Day, they honored transgender females only at the White House. There wasn't one biological female that was recognized. The awards and flowers and meet and greet with the president was all with transgender females. So how the fuck, what about women, like biological women? Are they like no longer supposed to be included in this when it's International Women's Day? So the other thing that's happening as well too, with again in the UK specifically and Australia, breast milk
I read about that.
is an offensive term. So because it offends inclusive people that are transgender, it's not inclusive. So the term that they're using is human milk
yeah.
Oh my god.
or chest milk.
I think that at some point women are just going to be offensive.
Yeah, seriously.
And we're going to have to just go to an island where there's no transgenders.
No, that's not true at all. I mean, Melissa, the people who are supporting this, the
Are the women.
strongest voices behind this are women. So
Those are the
women are to be
crazy ones.
No, women are the ones who support the transgender female movement. It's not fucking men. You're not going to see me and Ryan high-fiving if a transgender female walks by and looks at us in a seductive way. Like, fuck.
Depends how good the work was.
Yeah, but
Should
again,
we not run tests on those women just to check their mental health.
but
state?
these are feminists. Majority of them are feminists, and majority of them are women because they're like, "Oh my God, you're so brave, and I can't believe you did that." And they give them hugs and help them put their fucking makeup on and share stories. Like, and I gave this example before in the gym that I go to. If there was a transgender male that walked into the gym, because the showers are open, right? You're taking a shower naked, and that transgender male had scars under his breasts where his breasts were, and I don't know what the fuck is down there. Like, who knows? Other men are not going to give that person high fives and give them hugs and say, "You're so brave." They'll be like, "What the fuck?" Most will be like creeped out by it. But women are the opposite.
Are you saying that men would usually high five and hug each other in the shower at your gym?
Men are yeah, they'll give high. I don't know about the hugging, but they'll definitely laugh
So
and
like
joke
they'll
and give
just
high
be
fives.
showering and be like, "Oh, nice shampoo, high five."
Well, I'll tell you
Or
that
just don't drop the
guys
soap.
who are in gyms, they talk. We have a fucking great time.
Oh, they'll be like,
There's
I
no
just
women
banged
there.
this chick the other
There's
night.
no women
yeah.
there.
Well, like I went to college to play baseball. The showers there were fucked.
How? What do you mean?
Tell us. Tell us.
I don't want to get too. I don't want to sewer anybody, but yeah, like some guys in the shower are ruthless.
Yeah,
Tell
well,
us.
my point is that women are the ones who are supporting this movement more so than men.
But
So
I feel like there are women out there who's defending this as well because they recently included transgender women in sports, and then there were so many women against it because you can't compare transgender women with women. Like there is a biological difference in physical strength. You can't compare that at all.
Yeah, but the argument there is that the transgender females have been taking medication. They've been taking lowering their testosterone with estrogen and so on. So a lot of people feel that if their testosterone level is the same or estrogen level is the same as a biological woman, they should be able to compete. So I agree with what you're saying, but there's always these other arguments. And there are athletes now that are finally pushing back, which is amazing. And it's the athletes that are the ones. So you have girls who've trained their whole life, like to become a swimmer. And now they finally get to compete on an Olympic level for their country. And along comes a transgender female and fucking blows them out of the water, beats the world record. And no matter how much that girl trains the next 4 years in the next Olympics, she's never going to beat that person. So they're the ones who are the voice. And that's the minority. Majority of the people, which is again a lot of women, are like, no, come on, like, you're going to hurt their feelings. It's not about it's about science, not feelings, is my view, right? And then when it comes to breastfeeding, that's also offensive. So it's chest feeding or body feeding. So do you girls kind of feel that because women tend to be so accepting that
We do.
with this stuff,
Okay. Yeah.
it's kind of biting you on your butt, where by being, accepting and understanding and so on, that you're like, oh, this person, yeah, he was a he, now he's a she, and she feels like a female. We should respect that and embrace that and empower that might have been wrong, or that, the way the movement's going, that eventually what's going to happen is all of your rights are going to be altered or trampled on or violated.